Hey everybody, Rosematter here. Welcome to part 4 of my Higurashi When They Cry Meakashi Let's Play. We had some interesting things happen in the last episode. So we had the return of creepy Rena with her hawk eyes and her just seemingly psychic knowledge of things. We had Shion just losing her mind on Sadako and attacking her. And it seemed like Satoshi and her were basically like donezo. Like he seems to just hate on her. But we had right at the end Satoshi asking Shion to bring Sadako to the Watanagashi Festival. So, the Watanagashi Festival, it looks like it's going to be happening in this episode, and we know what happened. Well, we don't know what happened to Satoshi, we just know he disappeared. But we don't exactly know what happened with Satoshi on that night, so hopefully we'll get the answers to that. But more importantly, guys, the Watanagashi Festival, we know things always kind of pick up after that, so of course I'm excited to get back into this and just see Shion and Sadako together at Watanagashi. Like, I don't even know, like, what's gonna happen. So, anyway, enough babbling. Let's get back into it, and let's see what happens next. Ooh, the day of the Watanagashi Festival. Yes, yes, I'm just like, we're getting right into it. June 20th, 1982, 1:40 p.m. What was I doing today? Nothing in particular. Nothing at all. I just wanted to play hooky. I woke up in the afternoon. I ate instant food for lunch while watching boring TV programs. I had a light headache, so I lay down on the sofa. I wouldn't wake up again if I went to sleep. Whatever. I decided to sleep. I'd already told Sis that Satoshi-kun had asked her to look after Sadako. Well, I guess it makes sense that Shion wouldn't want to be the one to actually look after Sadako, that it would be actually Mion who was going to do it. I didn't have to do anything myself. I fell asleep, though my head was aching a little bit. That would be all I'd have to deal with. June 20th, 1982, 5:02 p.m. The aunt believed that all the villagers frowned upon her because her brother-in-law and his wife were pro-dam activists. She surely experienced some fallout during the time of the dispute, but people had stopped looking coldly upon her, even though she assumed otherwise. She was paranoid, believing that all the villagers hated her, and so she decided to hate them back. Her attitude, of course, begot hatred from the villagers, and the situation became exactly the way she thought it was from the start. What came first, their poor relationships with the neighbors, or her husband's affair? She didn't know herself. Her husband claimed he got a lover because he was fed up with her attitude. She, in turn, claimed that their relationship with the neighbors went sour because her husband had damaged their reputation. Only Satoshi was aware that both happened at almost the same time. Their quarrels had become a daily routine now. When the husband came home late, the wife would shout at him at the entrance. Satoshi wondered why they didn't get a divorce, their marriage being as rotten as it was. But he secretly knew the reason for that, too. It was the fortune his parents had left. His aunt had hidden their bank book and stamp and never allowed her husband access to them. So her husband would search the house for them. She'd find out he'd stole some money from her purse. This would cause yet another fight. Satoshi had never been aware that his parents had that much money when they were alive. After their death, however, one of his relatives told him. He was informed that his parents had left a large sum of money in some bank account. Satoshi couldn't understand why they had that kind of money, because his family had been, as far as he knew, poor. It was because of the dam project. His parents probably got the money in return for their cooperation with the government. They had strived to get more villagers on their side, provided information to them and whatnot. The money was probably compensation for their efforts. His aunt and uncle never had any intention to adopt them until they heard about the money. After someone from some financial institution revealed its existence, they appeared to adopt Sadako and Satoshi. The couple would fight every day. Eventually, Satoshi's uncle started spending even more time at his mistress's house. He realized he had no reason to return to his own home, because he'd just end up in a fight with his wife if he did. When he stopped coming home, Satoshi felt relieved. Neither their uncle nor their aunt treated the two siblings very well. Satoshi's aunt wouldn't have to vent her frustration upon them. The reason the couple fought was their corrupted relationship, so if they separated, there wouldn't be any more fights. Satoshi had thought that at first. But even after they separated, his aunt still had a short temper. Another woman had stolen her husband. The villagers must have been talking behind her back. It was mortifyingly embarrassing. Since she lost an opponent to fight, Satoshi's aunt directed her hatred toward the siblings. Satoshi had been observing her. He learned when she would get upset and how to avoid her attention. He managed to get by without upsetting her, by turning a keen eye to her behavior and avoiding conflicts. But Sadako couldn't do that. She hated her aunt and didn't even try to hide it. Satoshi told her to behave in their aunt's presence, but her eyes were always filled with hatred. Satoshi strived to reduce the conflict between them as much as possible. He stepped in to mend their relationship. It was a heavy burden for him, though, because he was still just a boy. He bore so much. He covered for his little sister by lying and maneuvering. He tried to maintain a tangible sense of peace. But he couldn't do that forever. The relationship between Sadako and her aunt had already spiraled out of control. Satoshi found something in the trash. It probably wasn't a legitimate place for trash disposal. If it was, sanitation workers would come and pick it up. He passed by the street all the time, so he noticed when there were new things dumped there. He'd found a plain-looking desk, of the kind likely to be seen in offices. Somebody must have dumped it within the past few days. His aunt liked to bring usable trash home. She'd had Satoshi help bring a chest home just a few days ago. If he told her about the desk, she'd want it. His aunt hated to find bugs and garbage in the drawers, so she'd always open them to check before carrying the thing home. Satoshi opened all the drawers, all of which were empty. After that, he turned around and walked for about 5 steps. He was standing in a knee-high bush. There he laid something he'd been carrying all the time until today. It'd be very hard to find unless you specifically knew it was there to begin with. Looking satisfied, Satoshi looked around for some landmark to remember the place. Is he doing the same thing that Keiichi did? Did he bring a shovel? Is he planning... Was it him who killed the ants? Hold on. Hold on, am I right? I'm gonna lose my mind if that's literally he did the same thing that Keiichi did. June 20th, 1982, 5:51 p.m.
Hey, Oyaji! 今年も来たね。また根こそぎかっさらってくから、覚悟。いや
その先のお嬢ちゃんは今年も元気がいいな。あ、そっちの子は新顔かい？
この子はね、竜宮レナ。こう見えてても結構やるよ。
そんなことないよ。よろしくお願いしますね。
おう、こっちこそよろしくな。今年もいろいろ景品を持ってきたんだぜ。もちろん真剣勝負だ。根こそぎ持ってけるもんなら持ってけってんだ。
レナは可愛いものには目がないのですよ。
ああのぬいぐるみとそっちのぬいぐるみはレナの好みだね。
It's kind of sad being at Watanagashi without Keiichi. It feels strange.
ダメだよ。まだ準備中だよ。おい。
レナ、ダメダメ。まだ準備中だってさ。ちゃんと回転したら根こそぎさらってやりな。
もうダメだよ。レナのものなんだよ。お持ち帰り。
Rena lost her marbles over the stuffed animal. Everybody laughed. Everybody except Sadako. She was standing by herself, some distance from the crowd. Her eyes looked dull.
なんなんですの、リカ。
Rika walked up to Sadako, smiling ear to ear in an effort to cheer her up.
今日は何も考えなくていいのですよ。いっぱい楽しく過ごしましょうなのです。
Sadako looked down. Even if she got to have fun today, her circumstances at home wouldn't change.
さとこ、 意地悪なおばさんは今日はお祭り。そんなことは分かってますわ。ならいっぱい笑っていっぱい楽しくなるのですよ。
Maybe Rika knows that the aunt is gonna die tonight because we know, based on the last chapter, that Rika seems to know what's gonna happen, who's gonna die.
ニパーニパーニパー。あいにくですけど、そういう気分になれませんの。申し訳ございませんけど、放っておいてくださいませ。どうして聡子は笑いませんですか？
Sadako sulkily glimpsed at Rika. She gave her a look, as though she wanted to say that Rika should know the reason. Even if she could have fun today, nothing would change between her and her evil aunt. No matter how fun the festival was. Once she went home, her aunt would be there. The aunt would find something wrong with Sadako, get mad and shout at her so loudly that the neighbors would hear. How can she have fun even just for today while knowing all that? Sadako didn't say that out loud, but her eyes betrayed her emotions to Rika.
では聡子の辛いのが今日でおしまいになるなら、
Rika so knows. Rika
聡子は
knows.
笑ってくれますですか？
Sadako gasped. She thought that Rika might do something to help. But soon after, she realized Rika was just trying to comfort her. Could her suffering end today? Because of Rika? How? Sadako knew there was really nothing Rika could do. And so, after just one moment of freedom, Sadako fell into depression again.
リカ、くだらない気休めは聞きたくないですわ。
聡子、
Rika's voice was clearer than Sadako had ever heard before.
もう決まっていることなのです。
Yep. June 20th, 1982, 8:11 p.m. Satoshi snuck out the window after supper. He heard the distant ruckus of the festival. The festival would end at 9 p.m. After the Watanagashi ceremony, there was going to be a raffle drawing. So there were two types of people in Hinamizawa. The people who would go home for dinner, and the ones who would stay until the raffle was over. Either relaxing at home or still at the festival. There were only those two patterns. On top of that, there weren't many neighbors in the vicinity of Satoshi's house. This is giving me such Ch.5 vibes when he was like, it's going on about like his preparations to kill the uncle. I can't believe this! As a result, he found nobody on the streets. On that night, the small village seemed especially desolate. Satoshi knew it was going to be like this, but he would keep worrying until he saw it for himself. He was barefooted, but started running without hesitation. He felt as though he'd become a wild animal running on his bare feet. He got the impression he could run faster than usual. Yeah, this sounds like Heichi, where he's basically going into, like, animalistic tendencies. Not only his running ability, his vision, his hearing. Yeah, it's just like with Keiichi. His sense of smell. All his senses were keener, including his sixth sense. He could almost sense the presence of people in the distance. If only when crouching like an animal. It felt strange, as though he'd stepped into another world. He'd been feeling tense and anxious until today, battling with his own fear. But now he felt as though he had metamorphosized into a different person. June 20th, 1982, 8:37 p.m.
それではお楽しみ抽選会の説明をこれより始めますのでどうぞ皆さん櫓の周りにお集まりくださいな
The festival had reached its climax. The raffle was going to start. Both the women who were dancing and those who were waiting for the raffle gathered around the altar. This was the first time they'd held a raffle. The planning committee decided to hold one from this year onward to attract more people to the festival. At first, the prizes were things the committee members had donated, but Oreo, not appreciating how pathetic they looked, had thrown them away. Oreo took the initiative and bought a brand new TV, a washing machine, a cooling fan, and other such things for the raffle. The committee wanted to keep it small initially, but it turned out big thanks to her. Oreo was upset because the committee members weren't enthusiastic enough, in her opinion. Some of the members thought it would be very difficult to prepare prizes of equal value the following year, so this might be the very first and last raffle. This is my first time hearing about this raffle.
簡単な素晴らしい商品になったね。だいぶかかったんじゃないの？上比で立て替えするよ。
すったらうな程度で建て替えなんてアホらしい。銭金の問題じゃないんね。たく。
まあまあそう言わないで。お嬢さんのおかげでできた抽選会なんだから。
こんな私一人でどうにかすりゃええんちゅうわけとちゃいなや。パホクさ。
The mayor, Kimiyoshi, was having a tough time pacifying Oreo. All of a sudden, one of the committee members burst into the tent in a rush. He looked upset, so Kimiyoshi assumed that somebody probably got hurt in an accident.
どうしたの牧野さん。そんなに息を弾ませたら心臓が破れちゃうよ。
Kimiyoshi made a joke to calm him down. Makino, however, still looked tense. He whispered something to Kimiyoshi. Even without hearing the exchange between Makino and Kimiyoshi, it was plain as day there was bad news.
お嬢さん、悪い話なんだけどいいかい？
Kimiyoshi, accompanied by Makino, moved to Orio's side and spoke in a very serious tone. Kimiyoshi whispered to her the exact same words Makino told him.
いやはや、参ったよな。
参るも参らんもなんね。
Did somebody find the body of the ant already?
3度あっちゃんは4度あるっちゅうこっちゃな。
お嬢さん、そりゃ笑えないや。
面白い話でもなんでもなぎゃ。面倒が増えただけっちゃね。
警察が今身元を調べてるらしい。どうも相当顔面をやられてるらしくて、身元の特定が難しそうなんだと。
This is picking up so much quicker than I thought it would.
顔がわからんでもおおよその想像はつくっちゃな。
え？心当たりがあるのかい？
Oreo glared at Kimiyoshi, then started chuckling.
バーカが綿流しの祭りにも顔を見せん。不信心者に決まっとろうがね。ちゃんとお社様を敬って祭りに来ちょるんは。そんな目には合わなんとよ。
Oreo kept laughing. Kimiyoshi and Makino didn't know how to react to that. June 20th, 1982, 9:04 p.m.
しかし
And the return of Oishi.
こりゃ無残なもんっすね。
And it's in the woods. They found him I'm assuming this is No, the ant was found in her house, wasn't she?
死に方ってのは本人が望んだものでない限り、どんなでも無残なもんです。
Oh, great. Now I'm like, this isn't quite how I thought it was going to turn out. Because if I'm not mistaken, she was found in the house, apparently bludgeoned by some sort of person on drugs or something.
お悔やみ申し上げちゃいますよ。そっちどう？ポッケの中身とか個人が特定できそうなものは？
The forensic investigators shook their heads.
サンダル履きで服装もラフ。近くにお住まいの方でしょうね。
I was thinking in my head, maybe it was Satoshi, but he wasn't wearing any shoes.
服装の特徴から周辺に聞き込みをすればすぐに割れそうっすね。
それしかないな。
They're not saying whether it's a man or a woman, though.
課長からこの山一区捜査してかかりそうだからって脅されてます。その辺注意してくださいよ。
了解っす。
Kumagai gathered some officers and gave them directions.
入江先生が到着しました。先生、あそこです。
A young doctor got out of his car and headed in the victim's direction.
どうも。遅れて申し訳ありません。抽選会の手伝いの最中だったもので。
先生、今日の祭りでだいぶ飲んでたでしょう。アルコール本当に抜けてます？後で風船でも膨らましてもらっちゃおうかな。
ご安心を。運転はスタッフに代わってもらってますので。
そりゃ卒がない。おい、先生通してあげて。
There was an area cordoned off with blue plastic sheets. An officer rolled up the sheet and let Oishi and Eri pass. I'm just like on the edge of my like, come on, I need to know what's going on. The forensic people were taking photos from many different angles. And the blood splatters and the bloody sandals were left untouched, marked with chalk and indicated with small alphabetized plates.
こういうものは見慣れませんね。
I mean, the only person I can think of it being is the aunt, but once again, she wasn't found in the woods as far as I remember. Eri took out a handkerchief and covered his nose.
匂いがダメな時は口呼吸にするんですよ。まあ、こういう匂いは目でも嗅げちゃうかな。ね。
The body appeared to be that, there we go, of a middle-aged woman. It was soaked in blood. It looked like a middle-aged woman because of the hair and what she was wearing. The reason why no one could be certain it was a middle-aged woman was because its face was completely pulverized, just like the uncle.
ひどい。
十中八九怨恨の線でしょうな。血痕とサンダル裏から見てここで殺したのは間違いないでしょう。でも見ての通りここは人通りが少ないと言ったって往来のど真ん中です。ここで頭部が仕上げるまで殴り続けたってのはちょいとまともな話じゃないですからね。でね、ほら腕とか見てみてください。
Oishi put on latex gloves and lifted the corpse's arm.
腕は綺麗なもんでしょ
う。それはつまり腕で防いだとか抵抗したとかそういう痕跡がないという意味ですね。
さすが高学歴。仏さんはおそらく最初の一撃で脳震盪かなんかで気絶したんじゃないかと思うんです。で、推しは確実に殺した手応えを得るためにさらに打撃を加えた。さらに言えば仏さんはその時うつ伏せに倒れたように思うんですよね。ねえ、服の汚れ具合からの勘ですが。
See, the thing is, it's like, it leads it to believe that it's Satoshi, based on the fact that he snuck out of the house and talking about how he was, like, an animal and stuff, but I'm wondering if maybe that's just a subversion. Maybe it was Shion who did it, or maybe they're working together? I don't know. I doubt they're working together, but I'm like, Shion wants the aunt dead just as much as I'm sure Satoshi does, if not more, because Shion outright stated that she wants to kill the aunt.
遺体は仰向けですね。
星は後頭部を散々潰して明らかに頭蓋骨が砕けてる手応えを得ているにもかかわらずわざわざ顔面を潰してるんじゃないかと思うんですよ。
Yeah, but then again, it's like, I know Shion is upset with the aunt, but talking about how pulverized the body was, like, I can only imagine Satoshi having that much actual personal malice towards the ants to do that, and he just like went insane. I don't know, it just seems too obvious that it's Satoshi. And Higurashi is never really that obvious? I don't know. I'm waiting for the swerve. Eri looked like he was going to throw up, both because of the putrid smell and Oishi's reasoning.
遺体の顔面を殴るってのは私の経験じゃかなり怨恨の線が強いです。
But we also know that Shion, when she kind of loses it, she's not above being violent, so I don't know.
それもだいぶ濃厚な濃密なね。ってことはつまり星は仏のかなり近辺にいるのは間違いないかと。
私を呼んだのが 救命活動ではないということはよくわかりました。
先生、この人が誰かわかりますかね。わかれば聞き込みの手間がだいぶ省けるんですがね。
Erie looked at the body once again. He looked away quickly and thought. Then, after a while, Erie left the investigation area without saying anything.
すみません。私にはわかりかねます。
本当に？
Oishi smirked and looked into Erie's eyes. Oh, Erie probably knows, but he wants to protect. He probably thinks it's Satoshi, and he doesn't want to, implicate him, as though Erie was hiding something. My only thinking is this is the aunt, and they somehow moved the body, and made it seem like she was killed there. I'm like, I don't know how it could possibly be anything else, but them trying, like, somebody setting it up to make it look like it happened somewhere else to try and, I don't know, make it seem like somebody else did it?
別に隠してなんかいません。
先生もアルコールがまだ抜けきってないだけですよ。頭が冴えたら思い出すかもしれません。思い出したら教えてくださいね。
Oishi tapped Erie on the back. The doctor, saying he wanted some fresh air, left the scene. Kumagai returned.
おいさん、課長から無線です。1号車の無線っす。
入江の先生、ごまかしたな。いえ、こっちの話。
Man, Oishi's like Rena. It's like he's just so perceptive about stuff.
仏の聞き込み急いでください。
But it's like, with Oishi, he's got like that police kind of sixth sense, I guess. With Rena, I don't know. I don't know where that comes from with her.
ほぼ間違いなくこの近くにお住まいです。
June 20th, 1982, 9:39 p.m.
おいさん、連れてきました。
どうもどうも。こんな夜更けに申し訳ありませんね。明日も学校なのに本当に申し訳ないです。
Did they catch Satoshi? Yeah, they did.
お父さんはどちらへ？
うちの寄付はあまり帰ってきませんので。
ほう。いつ頃から？最後に帰ってきたのはいつ？
さあ、義母と喧嘩しているのを聞く限りは、最後に会ったのはあまり覚えてないんですけど、先々週ぐらいだったかもしれません。
お父さんの連絡先はわかります？
いえ。
キャバレーの人と同居してるって言いましたよね。なんてお店かわかります？
いえ、沖宮のどこかにあるとしか知りません。
お父さんの名前は？
北条哲平です。
Oishi signaled Kumagai with his chin, who nodded while taking notes.
お父さんとお母さんはあまり仲良くなかったですか？
程度の度合いはわかりませんが、よくはなかったと思います。
率直に聞いて申し訳ないですけど、お母さんに恨みを持っていた人間とか知っていたら教えてほしいんですがね。
よくわからないです。
Oishi already knows the answer. I feel like a lot of time with the cops, so when they're asking a question, they already know the answer. They just want to know if you're gonna lie.
そうですか。じゃあもしも思い出したらでいいので、その時は教えてくださいね。
Especially everybody, because like everybody in Hinamizawa knows like the whole deal with this family, right?
これ私の名刺です。ここに電話番号ありますので。
はい。
じゃあ後日またいろいろとお話を伺うこともあるかもしれません。もしもお父さんと連絡がつきましたら、沖宮警察署の大石まで至急ご連絡をとお伝えください。くまちゃん、北条さんを自宅まで送ってあげてください。
いえ、一人で帰れますから。
いえいえ、そんなこと言わずにぜひ送らせてくださいな。お母さんを襲った犯人がまだ近くにいる可能性があるんですよ。あなたもまた狙われない保証なんてないんですからね。
お気遣いありがとうございます。でも本当に結構ですね。
Satoshi tried to reject the offer, but Oishi and Kumagai insisted. In the end, Satoshi was forced to accept. He turned around to leave, when Oishi spoke to him, as if he remembered something he'd forgotten to say.
北条さん。
はい。
大丈夫ですよ。心配しないでください。犯人はすぐに捕まりますよ。
手がかりとかあるんですか？
ありますよ。
どんなですか？
捜査上の秘密ですよ。ね。
Ordinary people might think that Oishi was trying to cheer the poor kid up with a joke.
いえね。人を殺すってのはかなり感情の高ぶるもんなんですよ。そりゃ冷静に殺してみせるロボットみたいなのも稀にいますがね。
感情が高ぶると何かわかるんですか？
At first, I was like, I didn't believe it was Satoshi, but oh, it's kind of pointing to it. But I'm gonna reserve my thoughts on that because who knows? It might take another turn. Like I said, maybe somehow it was Shion.
人は極限まで感情が高ぶるといろいろ体に反応が出ます。発汗とか脱毛とかね。殺人現場に犯人の毛髪が落ちているってことは割とあることなんですよ。まあここは屋外ですからね。現場が絨毯の上ってのとはだいぶ勝手が違いますが。
犯人の毛髪は拾えたんですか？
Satoshi's would be pretty obvious because it's like bright blonde.
さあね。鑑識の連中が大列組んでさっきから行ったり来たりしていろいろ探してます。まだ結果待ちでね。何が出るやら今から楽しみですよ。
明日があるので今夜はもう帰ります。
そうなさってください。クマちゃん送ってあげてください。
So this might bring it to that as he disappeared. He somehow managed to skip town to escape the cops because he had a feeling that they were onto him. If he did it. That's a big if.
了解っす。
では北条さん、また近いうちに進展があったらお知らせしますよ。北条さんも何か思い出したりしたらぜひ教えてくださいね。憎き母の仇の逮捕に協力してまいりましょう。
So it's all has been about Satoshi, no Shion. What's going on about how she was sleeping during this whole thing. But I'm like, I want to know what's going on with her. Sis called the morning after the Watanagashi festival to tell me the curse had struck again for the 4th time. The victim was the evil aunt who was harassing Satoshi-kun and Sadako. Satoshi-kun's suffering should be over now, since the problem was with Sadako and the aunt's relationship to begin with. Maybe I should have celebrated, but I wasn't in the mood for some reason.
犯人ってもう警察は目星をつけてるのかな。
Okay, so it seems like Shion didn't have anything to do with it. Sis went quiet when I asked that.
さあね、大石の野郎がしつこく聞き込みをして回ってるみたい。犯人は近しい人間に違いないと思ってるようだね。
Being identical twins, Sis and I think very much alike. If I suspected Satoshi-kun of being the murderer, so would she. Because of this, I didn't have to mention the obvious.
サトシ君って祭りの日にアリバイあります？どうだろう。はあ、
I heaved a huge sigh.
バカですね。サトシ君は祭りに来ていた。そういうことでいいじゃないですか。
Oh, this is like Keiichi, where they're all like, "You were at the festival, Keiichi." They're putting the alibi in.
そうだよね。気が利かなくてごめん。
I heaved another sigh. Sis was stupid enough to forget to make an alibi for him, even though the murder of his aunt alone would raise enough suspicion.
じゃあ、やっぱり、サトシが。
Oh, it is so much like Keiichi. That explains it. That's why they all said, and that was one of my theories. I said that in my theory video was the reason why, with Keiichi, why everybody was saying he was at the festival was because everybody was making up an alibi for him.
サトシ君が殺したかどうかが問題じゃないでしょ。サトシ君が犯行の時間帯にアリバイがあったかが重要なんです。たく。後で警察がうちに来るみたいだから、来たらサトシは祭りで一緒だったって言うよ。お姉、取ってつけた嘘なんか何の役にも立たないです。何も手を打たなかったなら、今さら小細工しても無駄ってことです。
Seems like Shion's got the reins on Mion there. She's bossing her around.
せいぜい正直に喋ってください。お姉は芝居が下手なんだから、変に意識するとかえって勘ぐられますからね。
Or maybe Shion's gonna take Mion's spot because Shion's a better liar.
ごめん。
She sounded depressed. I was the one who should have been depressed. Mion usually handles things well, but she's not too good with emergencies. I was left worried for the future of the Sonozaki family. Mion must have been embarrassed. She soon changed the subject.
シオン、最近はあまりバイトに行けてなかったでしょ。ご検察痛み入ります。おかげさまで。ごめん。今日は私、夜まで姿を隠してるから、バイトに出られるんじゃない？
Sis had been appearing in public places during festival preparations and whatnot. As a result, I hadn't been able to pretend to be her. I hadn't been able to work. As someone who had to support myself, it was a bit of a pain. To be honest, I didn't feel like working. But I couldn't afford to be sitting around either. When I locked my apartment door before leaving, the door of the next apartment opened and Kasai appeared.
シオンさん、お出かけですか？
そんなとこです。お姉が姿を隠してくれるそうなんで、久々にバイトに出ます。笠井、暇だったらおじさんの店まで車を出してもらってもいい？
シオンさん、しばらくはバイトを控えられた方がよろしくはないですか？事件のせいで警察は園崎家界隈を監視しているようですし、あまり姿を表に出さない方がいいのではないかと思います。
お気遣いは嬉しいけど、バイトしないと食費もないわけですし。
Kasai might suggest he donate money to my cause. However, I had sworn to myself when I started living here that I wouldn't depend on Kasai. While I don't obey anyone else's rules, I stick to my own. Kasai could tell I was adamant in my decision. So after repeating himself a couple of times as a formal procedure, he decided to give me a ride after all. Every time we went to my uncle's store by car, we stopped at this traffic light. I knew it was going to happen again, but it still irritated me. Pedestrians passed by in front of the car. I was startled to see that one of them looked like Satoshi-kun. It was him. Though I'd spoken with him on the phone just a couple of days before, it had been a while since I saw him last.
笠井、悪いけどおじさんに、やっぱ今日のバイトは行けなくなったって伝えてくれる？私、ここで降ります。
え？
Okay, so... Alright, I'm glad that we get to see what happened with... I wonder if this is where she's gonna tell him that she's not Mion.
シオンさん。
Kasai looked taken aback, but I got out of the car regardless. The light turned green. The car behind him honked while Kasai was shouting at me, so he had to start moving. Satoshi-kun was on his bike, but he was going really slowly. I caught up with him in a flash and tapped him on the back.
ハロロー。沖宮で会うなんて奇遇ですね、サトシ君。
If I talked to him with a smile, he might smile back. So I smiled as brightly as I could.
ミオン。
He looked tired as always. But as I could tell, he was trying to smile back. My worries suddenly disappeared. I was certain I looked happy. I was aware of that myself, so it must have been obvious to Satoshi-kun.
何があったか知らないけど、ミオンが楽しそうだね。
ええ、楽しいですよ。サトシ君の機嫌が良さそうなので、私も釣られて機嫌が良くなっただけです。
When I teased him, he looked a bit embarrassed. It was like we were back in the good old days. I felt even happier than before.
サトシ君こそ、何か機嫌が良くなるようないいことがありましたか？
いいことなんかないよ。おばさんが亡くなって、警察とかご近所とか、いろいろ大変だよ。
I might have asked something dumb. He seemed to be okay with it, though. He'd frowned a bit at first, but Satoshi-kun continued smiling gently. He looked worn out but satisfied, like he had accomplished something great. That was the mood I sensed from him. So I was convinced. The one who killed that wicked aunt who tormented Sadako was him. I had absolutely no proof, but I knew it intuitively. So I omitted all those questions. I knew Satoshi-kun's motive for killing his aunt, and how badly he was driven into a corner. I knew the environment and the situation he was in. And I knew Satoshi-kun's feelings. I knew all of that. So I omitted all those questions. I wanted to celebrate his release from that curse, so I smiled like nothing was different as I asked.
サトシ君はどこかへお出かけですか？あ、バイトかな？
正解。その前に寄り道なんだけどね。
Oh, he's going to go get the bear, isn't he?
寄り道？
毎日ちゃんとショーケースにあるのを確認しないとなんだか不安で。
That conversation reminded me. The reason he started his part-time job was to buy Sadako a huge teddy bear. $1,000 teddy bear. I still shook over that. It was being sold at the toy store down the street. I recalled the teddy bear was very expensive. Sadako's birthday was right after the festival. I wasn't sure what day, though. Wait, didn't he say he quit his job? Maybe he was going to greet his ex-coworkers and clean out his locker or something. Either way, he'd be completely free very soon. Maybe he hadn't been paid yet. That's why he wanted to check if they still had the teddy bear. Maybe he was only getting paid on Sadako's birthday. When we got near the toy store, he rushed to the display window. He looked relieved it hadn't been sold yet.
よかったよかった。大丈夫。ちゃんとあるよ。
買えるだけのお金は稼げてるわけですよね。なら予約とかしちゃえばいいのに。
He probably hadn't thought of that. He really did need someone to look after him. I looked into the display window over his shoulder. The teddy bear wasn't that cute in my opinion. It looked huge and cramped in the middle of the store's showcase. Really, it looked more like a display model than an item for sale.
値札がついてないけど、これ本当に売り物なんですか？これ一体いくらするんです？
売り物なのは確認したから間違いないよ。
値段は？予算は大丈夫？
大丈夫だよ。ちゃんと確認してあるよ。
Satoshi-kun thought I was teasing him again. He pouted and looked a little sulky.
予算が大丈夫なら予約しちゃいましょう。その方がサトシ君も心の荷が下りていいでしょうしね。
Oh no, is he gonna walk in and Mion's gonna be working there? Like, I don't actually know if she's working at the stores right now or if she's just not doing that. So that would be like that Keiichi moment where he walks into the toy store and he sees Mion and has that same moment of like, what? We entered the store and looked for a clerk.
誰もいないのかな。
It's gonna happen, isn't it? Mion's gonna pop out, isn't she?
そりゃ好都合です。 サトシ君、お給料日を待たずにぬいぐるみが手に入るかもですね。
ダメだよミオン。泥棒はいけないよ。
So is murder, but you know, that happened.
冗談ですって。軽く受け流してほしかったんだけどな。
Then again, we haven't confirmed it was Satoshi yet. I know it all points to Satoshi, but I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for it to just like not be him and just be something I wasn't expecting.
ひょっとして私が盗っ人の真似を平気でできる女だと思ってます？
あ、ごめん。
Satoshi-kun smiled apologetically. I puffed up my cheeks to tease him. It had really been a while since the last time we did this. In between those times, many undesirable things happened that I wanted to forget. But now I felt as though those things simply vanished into the air around us, like when I threw all those books at his sister and yelled at her and told her that she should die. I found an old person napping in the back. He must be the clerk, I thought. He looked to be fast asleep.
すみません。
Maybe we won't get Mion after all.
お店の方ですよね。
I poked his shoulder, but he didn't look like he was going to wake up. When I did that, a middle-aged woman wearing an apron came in.
おじいちゃん、店番頼んだのにすっかり眠りしちゃった。
And again, I have to remember that they do use backgrounds for different things, so this isn't necessarily the same. This might not be the same toy store that Mion was working at, so I have to remember that. I was really hoping there would be that moment where we'd see Mion.
お客さん来てるってのにもうごめんなさいね。うちのおじいちゃんももうすっかりボケちゃって。
The middle-aged woman shook the old man awake and told him to go back to the living room. She went to the cash register after that.
お恥ずかしいところ見せちゃってごめんなさいね。何かお買い上げ？
あ、買うんじゃなくて予約なんですけど、いいで、あのショーケースの中の一番大きいぬいぐるみなんですけど。
あれ？いいの？値札見た？かなり高いけど、お小遣い大丈夫なの？
あ、はい。ギリギリ足りるはずです。
もうすぐバイトのお給料が入るそうなので、それまで予約したいんですけど。
The woman looked a bit hesitant at first, but she eventually wrote down Satoshi-kun's name and accepted the reservation. Satoshi-kun received a slip of paper.
ね、これでもう誰かに先に買われちゃう心配はもう必要ありません。
Not that I think anybody would wander in and just buy a $1,000 teddy bear, but...
お給料がもらえるのはもうすぐなんだけどね。これで安心できる。
He would have kept coming to check every day if he hadn't done this now. He would have spent his time needlessly worrying. Satoshi-kun looked very relieved indeed.
これならもっと早くに予約をしていればよかったな。
普通の人は欲しいと思ったら即予約します。そういう思考に至らないサトシ君はちょいと希少です。
It's so very fun to tease him. Those painful days seemed unbelievable now. Satoshi-kun looked like he'd forgotten everything that happened up until yesterday.
でもありがとう。
Satoshi-kun held out his hand to touch my head. Was he going to stroke it? I felt my face reddening already. Even before he touched my head, I felt tingly remembering the last time. I didn't care about the murder or whatever else happened. As long as Satoshi-kun had his freedom, everything would be all right. I'd be content as long as we could live happily from today onward. But Satoshi-kun's hand never reached my head. I slowly opened my eyes, only to realize the situation had drastically changed. Oh God, what's going to happen? What? There were 4 men in suits blocking our way. It looked as though they'd been waiting for us to exit the toy store. Uh-oh. The oldest of the 4 men stepped forward while smirking. I'd never met this man, but it looked like he knew both Mion and Satoshi-kun. He was probably a cop. I ran a search for information in my head, and found some right away.
こんにちは。 北条さん、園崎さん。いい雰囲気だったところを邪魔しちゃって実に申し訳ないです。
This must be Kuroda Oishi, the cop who's investigating the series of mysterious deaths. He thinks the Sonozaki family is behind all the cases. In other words, he's an enemy of the Sonozaki family. He has deep connections with other investigation divisions in the police force, and likes to nose around the businesses in the area. He annoys the Sonozaki family enough as if by interfering with its Yakuza business, let alone his suspicions on the series of mysterious deaths. Naturally, as the family's successor, he's not a welcome figure to Mio and Sonozaki. I tried to imagine how Sis would react.
ありゃ、大石さんですか。お仕事ご苦労様です。大の大人が4人も揃って、おもちゃ屋さんに何かご用で？まさかお人形さん買いに来たってわけでもあるまいに。
I know what they want, and it's not a toy. It's probably not me either. They want Satoshi-kun. I took a look at Satoshi-kun. He seemed a bit uncomfortable. The other three cops loosely surrounded us to prevent our escape.
北条さん、実はですね、ちょいと伺いたいお話がありまして。
何それ？任意同行ってやつ？サトシ君、こんなのに付き合う必要ないよ。行こう。
I pushed on his shoulder, but he just stood there looking pale and bewildered. Bewildered? No, he actually looked resigned. Then, I recalled Sis's mistake. It's obvious he killed his aunt from the circumstances. You don't even have to look at the crime scene. How could Mion have failed to create an alibi? That stupid Mion must have spoken to the police without making anything up at all. She must have not told them she knew where Satoshi-kun was. This might be where the relationship started to really go downhill between the two of them. She blames them for Satoshi. Whatever happens to him, whether he gets taken by the cops or he disappears. If she hadn't done anything, the villagers wouldn't work to help her. It was just a matter of time until the police uncovered Satoshi-kun's complete lack of an alibi. The police were trying to corner him and lead him to confess. I looked at Satoshi-kun's face once again. He looked like a dead man. He probably didn't know he could refuse to be interrogated. If he was taken to the station and grilled by Oishi, he'd confess in a minute. Somebody had to protect him. Nobody had ever been there for him. I had to step up now. But how? Would it be possible to alter what Mion had already told them, saying it was a mistake? This wasn't going to work. If I had more time, I'd come up with an excellent idea. But I didn't have that much time at all. To pressure him, the cops were drawing nearer. Satoshi-kun must have felt intimidated. He might end up turning himself in due to the pressure while I'm stuck trying to come up with something. I have to do something now. I have to say something. Otherwise Satoshi-kun might give in. I have to save him. Oishi drew nearer. Satoshi-kun fell back.
大して時間は取らせませんから。そんな怖がらないでください。
It won't take much time. He just said it. He just said he wouldn't let him out if he caught him now. Satoshi-kun, don't give in. If you give in now, everything you've been working for will be ruined. Satoshi-kun looked like he was at his breaking point. Oishi was clearly aware of it. Oishi smirked and held out his hand to grab Satoshi-kun's shoulder. I felt electrified when I saw that. That hand shouldn't be allowed to touch Satoshi-kun. The moment Oishi touched his shoulder, he'd give in. He'd go to the police station and confess everything.
Satoshi-kunにアリバイがあるか知りたいわけですよね。
Oh, what's gonna happen? Oh, Shion, oh, Shion, what are you gonna do?
Hmm?
Oishi turned his face towards me, his hand left hanging in the air. I wasn't very prepared for this. I just had to stop Oishi no matter what. I only needed to gain some time. It didn't really matter what I said.
そうですよ。北条聡さんのアリバイが知りたいんです。私たちの捜査がまずいからなのかな。 犯行の時間帯にどうしても北条さんのアリバイが見つけられないんですよ。仕方ないから恥を忍んでご本人に直接そのあたりをお伺いしようかと思いましてね。
そんなの本人に聞く必要ないです。私がアリバイ証明しますから。
ありゃ、そりゃ本当なら助かるな。あの晩園崎さんが神社にいてお祭りの最後まで過ごしていたことはすでにあなたからも聞いているし、そのあなたがそこで北条さんとも一緒だったと言ってくれるなら一番楽なんですがね。でもあんた、以前そのあたりをお聞きしたとき、北条さんのことは一言も言ってませんよね。
Oh yeah, Shion's gonna be pissed at Mion. I wonder if Oishi's aware of the fact that Mion has a twin sister.
実はいましてって、今頃おっしゃるおつもりで？祭り会場の誰一人、北条さんを見ていないのに、あなただけは見ていたと、そうおっしゃるおつもりで？
そうです。私と一緒にいました。それで十分です。
あなたが仲良しのお友達と終始一緒にいたのは分かっているし、私も会場で実際にお見かけしています。それでも一緒にいたとおっしゃるわけで？なはははは。そいつはちょっと苦しくない？ん
Oishi approached me with a creepy smile. Was he teasing me because my excuse sounded funny? I didn't think so. He was frustrated due to being interrupted when he was about to catch a big fish.
祭り会場でずっと一緒に遊んでたのに、すっかり忘れてて今頃になって思い出したと、そうおっしゃるおつもり？園崎美音さん。
I did get a little scared, but I couldn't stop myself. I could save Satoshi-kun if I revealed my real identity. I was aware of the risk. Grandma would certainly capture me if I revealed it. I didn't think of the consequences after that. Oh, she's gonna say it? Oh! Oh my god! It's the deja vu! It's just like when... Oh! Oh my gosh, this whole chapter is just like the parallels between Satoshi and Keiichi.
だからもともと綿流しになんか言ってません。
あ？
サトシ君とは綿流しの晩は沖宮のファミレスでずっとおしゃべりしてました。エンジェルモートって店ですので、どうぞ店長にも確認を取ってください。
Oishi was still smirking, but he apparently felt confused.
あんた、何を言ってるの？あんたミオンじゃないなら誰なわけ？
園崎、シオンです。ミオンの双子の妹です。初めてお会いしますね。こんにちは。
Oishi looked perplexed, like he didn't believe what I'd said. He frowned.
園崎美音さんに双子の妹がいたなんて初めて知りましたよ。あんた、大人をからかってんの？
からかってなんかないですよ。どうぞ戸籍でも何でも調べてみてください。それともお姉を呼んで二人で並んでみせれば信じます？
All the cops look bewildered now.
園崎シオンさん？
はい。シオンですが、何か？
あんたにもちょっと来てもらってもいいですかね。あんたが園崎シオンさんで北条さんと一緒におられたって言うんなら、
ええ、望むところです。お手柔らかによろしくお願いいたします。
Damn, okay. And now Satoshi's gotta just like sit and marinate in that information he just got. So the thing is, like, they're obviously gonna separate the two of them, so like they're going to have a hard time. Shion and Satoshi aren't gonna have time to be able to like plan out their alibi. So, and Satoshi seems like the type to just crack, so we'll see what happens. The cops gathered at their car and started discussing something. It looked like they never expected this to happen. I hope to be able to fake Satoshi-kun's alibi for at least a little while. It shouldn't be too difficult to talk to Sis about this, then forge up an alibi together.
Satoshi-kun, 何を聞かれても、エンジェルモートで私とおしゃべりをして過ごしていたと言い張ってください。私が何とかしますから。 何を聞かれてもよく覚えていないとか。サトシ君なら下手なことは言わず黙り込んだ方が無難かもです。
He's like, that's a lot I gotta take in right now. Satoshi-kun wore a startled expression. Though I was telling him something important, he'd apparently decided not to listen.
サトシ君、聞いてます？ここでしっかりしないと刑事たちの思うツボです。
He must have been feeling deceived. No wonder. I just confessed I wasn't Mion, but her twin sister. I really had been deceiving him.
怒ってます？
なんで？
騙してて。
Satoshi-kun started laughing. I didn't know why he'd laugh. He's like, I'm losing my goddamn mind right now. It's like, this is too much. Because he wasn't the type of person who would laugh in order to hide something.
たまに教室のミオンと話が食い合わないことがあったから違和感は感じてたんだ。やっとわかったよ。
怒らないでくれるんですか？騙してたこと。
Satoshi-kun looked puzzled. It was like he didn't know whether he should be upset about it or not. Or maybe he was only pretending to be that way.
はじめまして。じゃないんだよね。
はい、そうなります。
そっか。シオンってどう書くの？
詩を読むの詩に音でシオンです。
シオン。いい名前だね。
じゃあお二人さん、すみませんが署までご同行願いますかね。粉末でよければコーヒーか紅茶かくらいは選べますよ。
Okay. Alright. Now the interrogation is gonna start up, it looks like. Don't fuck this up, Satoshi. Alright, notebook, page 29. Either Satoshi-kun was smart or very lucky. Or maybe it wasn't him. The police found nothing at the crime scene to indicate his involvement in the murder. Yet Satoshi-kun was still the prime suspect. Considering his home environment, he had a strong enough motive. He had no alibi. The police had everything other than physical evidence. It wasn't surprising that Oishi took a chance. He probably didn't expect me to step in, but what I did was too little to avert his suspicion of Satoshi-kun. Oh, so this must be after the interrogation, so obviously they didn't actually take Satoshi in. Or at least, like, he wasn't arrested. Oishi believed that Satoshi-kun did it. He was waiting for Satoshi-kun to fall apart and confess. That's what both Oishi and I were thinking. Okay, so we know already that they got out of it okay. But that hypothesis was destroyed later on. I'll not talk about it now, but Oishi's theory will be disproven and the police will be thrown into shock. A question comes to mind. That is, who saved Satoshi-kun? I can only think of the possibility that the Sonozaki family invented the culprit. Okay, so that brings up that thing about, like, the guy who confessed to it. Did the Sonozakis, like, bribe him with money, being like, okay, you're gonna go to prison for it or whatever, but, like, we'll give you a lot of money so that maybe your family will be taken care of or something. But I'm like, why would the Sonozaki step in and do that and protect him? The cops were smart enough to separate us during questioning. Oishi didn't come to talk to me. His aim was Satoshi-kun and nobody else. I got a young cop who just talked about ordinary things. He must have been trying to ease me into the interrogation. When I realized that, the clumsy way he spoke began to frustrate me. Is Satoshi-kun alright? I didn't think Oishi really bought my testimony. He must have been trying to get Satoshi-kun to confess in spite of that. All I could do was pray that he'd keep quiet. The phone on the desk rang, and the cop picked it up.
はい、熊谷です。はい？ああ、そうですか。わかりました。すぐに。
He hung up and told me somebody had come to retrieve me. Looked like Satoshi-kun had to stay. Were they going to continue the interrogation just because he had nobody to pick him up? Although, maybe I should have been worrying more about myself. The hag had probably heard about me by now, since I revealed my true identity to the police. I couldn't hide any longer. I was going to receive some sort of punishment. I had no idea what she'd end up doing to me. The degree of punishment for a traitor is always severe in the world of the Sonozakis. The punishment must be carried out. If it's to protect the family's reputation, it's carried out no matter what. Maybe I should kiss my pinky finger while I still can. I asked the young cop just in case.
ねえねえ、アメリカなんかでよく死刑囚が死刑廃止の州で捕まると引き渡さないでくれるっていう話あるじゃないですか。
ん?
Maybe it was too difficult for him. He just looked puzzled. A glossy black car was waiting for me in front of the police station. A few men from my dad's office bowed to me.
シオンさん、ご無沙汰しております。
Oh, I'm a little nervous right now.
葛西は
Kasai had been helping me ever since my escape from the school. They wouldn't allow him to walk free.
お姉はどうしてるの？何か言ってる？
私たちはシオンさんを本家へお連れしろとしか言われていません。
Oh, this is no good, especially knowing that this is a rough episode. I am like, oh, what is going to happen to Shion? I'm not a fan of her, but I don't want her to get hurt at the same time.
詳しくは本家でお尋ねになってください。
Especially because the main house, that's where the torture room is. After saying that, he escorted me into the car. A man sat on either side of me. Obviously, they didn't want me to escape. Thinking of Satoshi-kun, I looked back at the police station. Hold on tight, Satoshi-kun. I'll grin and bear it too. The car started off roughly. It was never a good occasion when I went to this house. Except when Mion and I were really small, oblivious of what the Sonozaki name meant for us. I'd been here only when I had to attend boring family councils. The car parked behind the house. Traitors aren't allowed in through the main gate. I got out of the car. It looked like Sis would be the only person to receive me. I almost spoke to her casually, but her cold gaze froze me before I could.
お久しぶりですね、シオン。
Oh no.
新年以外に会えるとは思いませんでした。
Oh, she sounds so creepy. It gave me the chills to hear her greet me in that cold manner.
ミヨン姉様こそ、ご機嫌麗しゅうございます。新年以外にお顔が見れて、3問くらいの得を感じます。
I responded, trying to sound likewise.
当主は大変ご立腹ですよ。どう釈明されるか見ものです。私がするような釈明なんて別にないですし。
I had no excuse. I'd escaped from the school solely because I couldn't stand it there. That was all.
シオン、来なさい。皆待っています。
Mion escorted me, and the others followed. We went to the garden, not into the house. As we passed her the huge yard into the woods. Oh no, she is going to the torture room! I realized where she was taking me. When we were little, we were told never to go near these woods. I had a vague idea what was in the back of them. I'd heard there was a hidden entrance to the underground torture room, where they used to punish the enemies of the family. The more hideous rumors I'd heard about the family, the more credible those rumors seemed. Well, I wasn't completely certain about any of that. I'd never expected to see the torture room for myself. Oh boy, now I'm like thinking to myself, I'm looking back, I was like, was Shion missing any fingers in the later chapters, or the previous chapters, I should say? I came to a concave clearing in the middle of the woods. I saw a metal door at the bottom of it. The door reminded me of a bomb shelter. I wonder if Kasai is going to be here too.
これが噂の地下実験室ってやつですね。
I was surprised to hear my own voice. My voice was trembling. It made me realize I was more scared than I thought. Nobody answered my question. The very air felt tense. According to the family rules, one of the twins must be eliminated. Was I finally going to be eliminated? Well, the thing is, like, the diary entry she just wrote in after, I assume, her and Satoshi did the police interrogation. She spoke completely casually about, like, oh yeah, so turns out that Satoshi was fine. He did, we went through the interview and they didn't really have anything on him. No mention of what happened to Shion during this thing. So maybe it's going to be a cop-out. Maybe nothing's actually going to happen to her and it's just a scare tactic. I don't know. I think I'm feeling like I'm just saying that because I want that to be the case. I realized I'd been underestimating my punishment. I hadn't been aware of the real terror until now. I just thought I was. Beyond the steel door, the air had an intimidating smell. This really was happening to me. I shouldn't allow myself to give in to fear. I felt like saying something rude, but my lips were dry, and my fingers were fidgeting. I was escorted through the narrow hallway and down a few sets of stairs. There, I saw another huge steel door. So, this was the place. Ooh. Ooh. No. Is that sound supposed to be happening, or is my headphones cutting out? I don't like that either way. It sounds staticky. It was spacious and utterly odd-looking room. The room had two sections that looked completely different. Oh no, that's a terrible sound. I do not like that. One side looked like a lounge. I saw several high-ranking members of the family council sitting on cushions there, looking expressionless. The other half was tiled, as if in a large public bath. That was already puzzling enough. Maybe it's supposed to be like the buzzing in her head because, like, she's freaking out, but I'm freaking out. Oh, no. No, the music keeps changing and I can't get comfortable with it. Oh, no, something real bad's gonna happen here, isn't it? And there were those things. To be honest, they had captured my attention from the moment I arrived. I noticed them even before I saw the lounge and tiled space. I just didn't want to accept that they existed. I couldn't stand straight. I almost dropped to my knees. But I couldn't. Two young men had been holding me by the arm since I got here. There were oddly shaped things hanging from the wall. Oh, I was just refusing to recognize what they were. I knew exactly what they were called. Oh, I see. I understood that those eerily shaped objects were torture devices from hell.
The
hag sitting at the front of the lounge intimidated me in a horrid voice. She kept cursing me for a little while, but she was so incensed I could barely tell what she was saying. I knew what she was trying to say, though. The hag was willing to forgive my escape from the school, but once I revealed my identity to the police, she had to step in. Since I had disobeyed the family rule, she, as the leader, was forced to punish me. Moreover, there was one thing that bothered her more than anything else. The fact I covered for Satoshi-kun. The Hojo family had been seen as traitors to the village ever since the dam conflict. Satoshi-kun is still considered one of them. She couldn't accept I was connected to him. To me, this was a bit unexpected. I'd escaped from the school the hag had put me in. All the while I'd believed that was what she was upset about. But in fact, she said she was most uncomfortable with my connection with Satoshi-kun. I couldn't believe this. I wonder if she knows that Mion is friends with him. Of course I knew Satoshi-kun's family was persecuted for their betrayal. But I didn't think Satoshi-kun was also burdened with that responsibility.
そんなの、サトシ君関係ないじゃないですか。サトシ君の親はわかるとしても、サトシ君個人には何の責任もな。
Oh.
しゃあらしいわ。
Oh. The hag interrupted me with a shout, which made me cower in fear. She continued slandering the Hojos, and said that Satoshi-kun was a cursed child. I started feeling pissed off. What did he do to deserve this? What was he being blamed for? It was too late when I realized I'd said that out loud. The hag looked furious. I'd obviously upset her. I decided to repeat myself to make it very clear how I felt. Oh boy, she is like cagey in that she just speaks without thinking sometimes.
ばあさん。
Oh my god, Shion. Oh boy.
黙って聞いてれば言いたい放題。
なんばねすったら口の利き。
やかましい。
Wow.
しまいまで聞きなよバカ野郎。
I shouted loudly to silence the hag.
だいたいあんたはサトシ君の何を知ってるの？サトシ君のことをよく知りもしないくせにまるで彼を害虫みたいに言い捨てて。サトシ君がどんなにいい人か私はよく知っている。彼が北条だからいけないの？バッカみたい。時代錯誤も甚だしい。園崎の私が北条のサトシ君と一緒にいたのがそんなにも不愉快なの？くったらないくったらないバッカみたい。こんな安っぽいロミジュリを自分で体験できるなんて思わなかったな。
My voice became hoarse from shouting. My face was messy with tears. Even so, I didn't feel like putting a stop to my emotional explosion. I was all too aware I was doing this just to overwhelm my fear. The hag was glaring at me while breathing heavily. Well, if she was gonna go easy on her, it's not gonna happen anymore. I glared back at her as fiercely as I could. Eventually, I realized that her sticking point was my relationship with Satoshi-kun. She wasn't only upset I had a mere connection with him.
そっか。ミオンがそういう告げ口をしたわけか。
It was as though Mion was wearing a mask. She didn't budge under my penetrating glare. That was what the hag was really unhappy about. The fact I was in love with Satoshi-kun.
確かに私、自分が園崎家だとかサトシ君が北条家だとかそんなの全然興味ないし、園崎家のメンツがとか世間体がどうとか全然関心ありません。認めますよ、認めます。私は北条サトシ君が好きです。彼のことが大好きです。それっていけないこと？人が人を好きになるのに何か理由が必要？
I could see the relatives shaking their heads in turmoil. Among them, I saw my mom. She must have been trying to protect me. But even she wouldn't look at me. Instead, she looked silently at the floor.
後ろのあんたたちも聞こえてるでしょ？私おかしいこと言ってる？あんたたちだってサトシ君をよく知れば、彼がどんなに素敵な男の子で私が好きになるのがおかしくないことがすぐにわかる。なのになんで相手の人格も知ろうとしないで一方的に。
Mion held out a hand to silence me. Then she slowly walked in my direction.
もう結構です、シオン。あなたの言い分と覚悟はよくわかりました。
Mion put her head close to mine and whispered, "You done fucked up."
シオンの覚悟はよくわかったよ。でもここまで言い切っちゃったら誰にももうかばえない。シオンがけじめをつけてみせるしかない。けじめ？なんで私がなんでそんなバカな。シオン。
Mion's face turned cold again, and she calmly told me,
あなたの言う個人の理屈は多分正しい。でもね、あなたも理解していると思うけど、ここはひなみ沢で、私たちは園崎家なの。御三家の末席で、そしてあなたは仮にも、園崎家次期当主である園崎美音の双子の妹。それが、
I interrupted her.
あんたとは、こっちに帰ってから、どうもそのあたりの話が食い合わないですね。大人の事情みたいなことばっか。ひなみ沢？園崎家？だから何？私はそんなの全然興味な。聞きなさい。
Mion interrupted me, just like I did her.
シオンは今日まで沖宮で生活するにあたって、どれだけの人の世話になってる？
Chill shot through my spine.
葛西さん。
Oh,
奥の牢屋。
I knew it. I knew it.
なんで葛西が？
I knew why, of course. The moment I got caught, those who helped me were destined to meet the same fate. We were all subject to the punishment of betrayal. Maybe my punishment would be lighter than what they'd be going through. Kasai and Uncle... Oh yeah, the uncle too. Uncle Yashiro must have been treated much worse than this. Everybody who helped me was falling victim.
シオンがどういう目にあっても、
I get.
シオン本人は覚悟があるからいいだろうけど。
Like I was saying, it was a thing where it's like Shion just cares about herself and her feelings in the moment. She didn't think that, like, it's not just her who's going to be punished. It's everybody who, you know, went on their way to help her. And because of her selfishness, now they have to be subject to it as well. It's just like she just thinks with her emotions and doesn't think about the consequences of things. And it kind of drives me crazy. I understand. One aspect I understand. But at the same time, I'm just like, girl, you need to be making better choices.
お世話になった葛西さんや吉郎おじさんがどうなるかまでは考えが及ばない。
My head rapidly cooled down. My aggression was all used up. I should be able to bear whatever punishment they bring on me. But I resented the fact I'd be putting the people who supported me at risk.
シオン、ばっちゃんに謝って、けじめをつけてみせれば、シオン一人だけの話で全部済む。誰にも迷惑をかけない。でもミオン、私間違ったこと言った？そんなにも悪いことした？
Oh my gosh. It just drives me crazy. She literally had the chance to be like, all you have to do is apologize. And they don't have to suffer. And she can't even do that. The moment Mion learned I wasn't willing to apologize, her expression turned cold again. She turned her back to me and returned to the lounge. I talked back to the hag in a really harsh manner. I told her I didn't do anything wrong. Yet I had involved many people who I owed so much, and yet you couldn't even apologize for their sake. It went without saying this was my responsibility. I was the sole person to blame, and no fault lay with them. Okay, hopefully she'll redeem herself here. Like, she seems like she's understanding this. Just apologize. Yes, Kasai and Yoshiro-san were blameless, just as Satoshi-kun was. But then, as if she read my mind, Mion turned around and gave a slight nod. It was possible something was going to happen to Satoshi-kun. Oh, so that's maybe why he disappeared. It was just they took Satoshi out. On top of Kasai and Uncle Yoshiro. That can't happen. Satoshi-kun. I mean, nobody else should be punished. Please forgive them.
何ですか、シオン?
Oh, and this is like what happened with... It's like the parallels again with like Shion having to deal with someone that she cares about, a boy that she likes, being punished because of his involvement with her at the hands of Mion. Tears rolled down my cheeks. I no longer cared about my pride. And then and her having to apologize to Mion and bow down to Mion, just like in the second chapter.
ごめんなさい。私が間違っていました。許してください、当主様。
I should have said what the hag wanted to hear. Yet she still looked unsatisfied. Maybe that wasn't too surprising. I just denounced her so badly in front of the relatives. She wouldn't forgive me so easily. Just then, Mion spoke as the successor.
ではシオン、どうやってけじめをつけるつもりです？けじめってどうすれば？
Nothing could be scarier than being told to pay up while standing next to horrid-looking torture devices. I was completely terrified. I couldn't move from trembling. Mion saw that and whispered to our grandmother. The hag nodded. Mion summoned some young minions and gave them an order. They removed one of the torture devices hanging on the wall, then set up a table in front of me and put the device on top of it.
何これ？爪を剥ぐための道具です。使い方はわかります。
Oh, it's not a finger, but...
わかるわけないでしょ。
I shook as I stared at the tool. It looked like a giant nail clipper. Oh, please don't let there be pictures of it. Like, I can't. You probably put the part that looks like a beak between your finger and fingernail, pulling them apart as if you squeeze the handle. Even if there's no pictures, they do such a good job at describing things. I'm still gonna be real squicked out by this. The chills ran up and down my spine when I imagined that.
爪1枚ずつで シオンがかけた迷惑のそれぞれのけじめとします。園崎シオン、どの指でも構いません。自らの手で3枚の爪を剥がしてみせなさい。
Oh, and she's got to do it herself. Oh. 3. 1 for Kasai, 1 for Uncle Yoshiro, and the last for Satoshi-kun. It was a fairly reasonable number.
本当にそれで他の人は許してくれるんですか？約束して。私がちゃんと自分の爪を剥げたら他のみんなは許すと約束して。これはあなたのけじめであって取引ではありませんよ。この方法が気に入らないならやるから待ってよ。やるから。
Oh.
やるから。
Oh, it's even worse that she has to do it herself, because if it was someone else, then, like, they would just do it. With her, it's like, if you have to do it yourself, you're gonna hesitate, and the more you hesitate, the worse it's gonna be. Oh, God. I put the device to my little finger while shaking badly. If my fingernail were shorter, it would have been harder. The metal beak captured my little finger beautifully. Oh, there's nothing beautiful about this. The subordinates then stabilized my left hand with a different restraining tool. That seemed reasonable because my finger would slip out if it wasn't restrained like that. As the subordinates buckled up the leather straps, I realized this was really happening, and there was no escape. My head hurts. My head hurts. Somewhere in my mind, I've been thinking they might forgive me after just the gesture alone. I shouldn't have been so naive. The emotions I'd been holding back appeared in the form of tears and kept rolling down my cheeks. It was like my feelings were being squeezed out until the very last drip. Something even more horrifying followed this. It was the silence that awaited my next action.
どうするの?
One of the subordinates pointed to the handle and told me to either squeeze it or hit it. He recommended the latter would be easier, to make it quick. Ooh, nobody said anything after that. Please don't show me this. There was nothing to hear but the sound of my sweat dripping onto the floor. The onlookers were staring at me silently, waiting for me to execute my punishment. Both the hag and Mion. They were also anticipating it. I could refuse, but that meant I wouldn't be paying up. This punishment exists to offer payment in exchange for the safety of those who helped me. If I refused, they would suffer. I started breathing heavily. I knew if I did this, the others would go free. This was, if you thought about it, quite a good deal. If it weren't me, it wouldn't just be 3 fingernails. If it were Kasai, he'd have to sacrifice his little finger, or something even worse. I knew that. It was my selfish desire to get away from that school. Why did Kasai have to suffer because of that? I knew that. Why did Uncle Yoshiro have to suffer just because he provided me with a job? Ooh, I'm bracing myself for it. Just do it, just do it, just do it. I knew that the hag and the other relatives still hated the Hojos, so I didn't know what they'd do to Satoshi-kun if I didn't do this. Would they bring Satoshi-kun here and tell him to do the same? Would they tell him to remove his fingernails in exchange for forgiving me? Oh, they are drawing this out, man. I'm just like, let's just rip it, just like a band-aid, just rip it off. He'd do it. He'd sacrifice himself with no hesitation in order to save others. My sweat dripped onto the table through my nose. I'd do it, yes. It was only 3 fingernails. It might hurt a lot, but I wouldn't die. The fingernails would grow back. It wouldn't even leave a huge scar. I shouldn't be afraid. The punishment was minimal because it was me. If I refused to do this, the others would be punished much more severely. I couldn't let that happen to Kasai, Uncle Yoshiro, or Satoshi-kun. I was the only one who should be punished. So I just needed to bear the pain. I wasn't just breathing heavily anymore. I was also moaning faintly, ready to scream at any moment. That's right, make it quick. This wasn't torture, so I didn't have to prolong the moment of pain. I should do it in one swift blow. That way my pain and fear would be minimized. I raised my right arm. Quickly, quickly. The pain would be lessened if I did it in one stroke. It'd be much more painful if I messed it up. Duh. I held my breath. I felt as if my body was frozen. I was choking. The chills crept up my spine. Don't be afraid, Shion. Fingernails are just a tiny fraction of the whole body. Just 1 square centimeter. I could do this. I could bear it. I smacked my right hand onto the handle of the device. I sensed the noise through my body instead of through my ears. At the same time, I felt a pain I'd never experienced before. A moment later, the pain pulsated with my heartbeat. I clenched my teeth. I felt like my teeth were cracking. I tightly shut my eyes until my eyeballs got squeezed up. The pain wouldn't fade. Rather, it swelled with my blood pressure. I felt as though it was bloating like a balloon. Timidly, I opened my eyes. I don't want to see it. Don't show me. I'm like actually covering my eyes right now, but then I realized I can't cover my eyes because I have to read it. I found my little finger wasn't really drenched in blood. It was bleeding, but not much. Certainly not enough to explain how much it hurt. My fingernail was open, just like the hood of a car. Ooh! Eee! Ooh! I've never actually lost a fingernail. My dad had lost a toenail once, playing soccer, and I didn't get to see it actually happened, but I saw the aftermath of it, and his, toe was just, black. Ew, and I'm just like, ooh, I'm getting all squicked out. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. As long as I don't have to see it. It was overwhelming. It occurred to me I'd done just one of the 3. Did I really have to repeat this 2 more times? Did I have to remove the nails from my ring and middle fingers as well? I looked at the hag and at Mion, begging for mercy. But they were just silently staring at me, as if the show had only just begun. I saw no hint of mercy in their eyes. Well, it's like they said, this is minimal compared to what could be happening. They wouldn't be changing their minds. Since they said 3, it had to be 3. They wouldn't forgive me until I removed 2 more fingernails.
Mio, これで許して。あのね、これ本当に痛いの。ほら、私の顔を見ればわかるよね。本当にさ、痛くて。
Mion answered, still wearing a cold look.
Shion, もう無理。
She didn't mean that it was sufficient. What she meant is the others would have to take the remaining punishment if I didn't. I knew that. I really did know.
やれるよ。こんなの全然楽勝だって。この冷血動画。こんなの怖くない。こんなの痛くない。
I quickly moved the metal beak and set it on my ring finger. It's like, just do it quick, just bam, bam, bam. And smacked it down with no hesitation. Instead of making it quick, maybe I was just rushing out of fear. Oh, she messed up. The torture tool had clipped just the tip of my fingernail. Ooh. The pain, however, was equal. I couldn't believe I'd only chipped it. Ugh, did I have to do it again? Did I have to continue removing the nail from my ring finger? That much pain again? Again?
Shion.
やだ。
I couldn't bear it anymore. Oh shit. I started crying shamelessly.
もうやだやだ。もう無理なの。本当に痛いの。
こんなの怖くない。こんなの痛くない。
Oh, to think what Shion goes in the later chapter, or like in the second chapter, this is nothing.
ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい。謝りますから許してください。ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい。
Oh, and it's still like she's saying "gomenasai," just like in the second chapter. The parallels, man, between this and the second chapter are crazy.
ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい。
Whew, they didn't seem to hear my voice. It felt as though there was an invisible barrier between us. They showed no mercy. They were just here to witness the ritual. So rather than sympathetic, they looked amazed by my screw-up. Mio walked up to me and whispered to my crying face.
Shion, あとちょっとだから頑張って。
やだやだやだやだ、本当に無理、本当に痛いの痛
Mion shook her head, then signaled, "Oh my gosh, she really isn't gonna do it?" and signaled us aboard. Or are they gonna do it for her? They came from behind me. They covered my head with something like a knit cap. It was a blindfold. One of them pinned me in a Nelson hold, restricting my movement. I couldn't overpower the guy behind me. Then I felt something strange on my left hand. The other guy was doing something with a torture tool. He put the metal beak between my ring finger and its fingernail. This is almost, I feel like this is them almost being, easy on her, because they could have just accepted, be like, alright, fine, you don't want to do it, then we'll just take care of the other guys. You failed. I think it'd be easier to have, like, someone do it for me rather than me have to do it myself. My left hand was fixed in the restraints, so I couldn't put up much protest anyway. But even that left hand was pressed down by his rough palms until it hurt, robbing it of the freedom even to tremble. They had no hesitation. It was made very clear to me how merciless people could be. Robbed of my vision, all I could do was clench my teeth against the pain assaulting me. If there was anything I was thankful for, it was that he was well practiced and had ripped off both my fingernails cleanly. Pain and screaming might induce narcotic chemicals in the brain. While screaming, I started losing consciousness. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap up the episode there. I feel like I can't do much more than that for now. Alright guys, when I said I was done with this episode, for now, I meant it. I need to take a break. That was a very intense ending. I'm sure you were waiting for that part, or waiting for my reaction to it, and I'm assuming that that's probably not the worst of it. I'm guessing when you guys told me that this was a tough episode, a tough chapter, that probably wasn't everything, so I can only imagine what's coming for me next. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Be sure to stay tuned for the next one, and I will see you guys later.